Starstruck.
Hello and welcome to Joyride. I am Jared Brandon Flandy, and
I'm Kyle Dotterman.
this is the show that is about the journey, not the destination. Hello, Kyle. Welcome back to episode 2 of season 10.
Season 2, episode 10. No.
Did I say it the other way around?
No, I did.
Okay,
to mess with you.
Yeah, you did. I could be a bit dyslexic.
That was a mind control technique I learned.
You were reading Catcher in the Rye, weren't you? Have you ever read that book?
I haven't. I feel like most everybody says they have, and they haven't either.
I read it for the first time last month.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. So it was like written in like the early 50s. It came out in the early 50s. If you were a teenager in the mid 20th century, it's the beginning of teenage angst. So you would have loved it. But, our ideas of a teenager are different. Times have changed, so I think it's lost a little bit of its potency just due to time passing.
Yeah.
But it's still a pretty good book.
I'll have to check it out.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess this is the second episode of season 10. Now, I want to do something to kind of commemorate this, okay? Because in season 2 is when we first changed up the format of the show. It's kind of in the format it is now, because season 1 was just cars, and then we went to more variety. And at some point in those earlier seasons, I had this story about being in a McDonald's drive-thru, which didn't go very well. Well, I had one recently that topped it.
Let's hear it.
So I was coming down through McMinnville, 99.
Yep.
And I went to the McDonald's on 99 there, okay? Mind you, I don't eat fast food a lot.
Famously the better of the two McDonald's in McMinnville.
Yes.
I used to live by the worst one, so I knew for sure.
Yes, okay. So I was in a hurry. I'll just go in there. I'll get, a couple of little cheeseburgers, all right? You buy one, get one at $1 or whatever it is, okay?
Yep.
So I swing in there, and this... I'm going to be respectful to start, and then it'll probably disintegrate to show my frustration. This elderly woman in an SUV just cuts right in front of me and goes into the drive-thru before me. Okay. She pulls up the little window thing,
she doesn't have a lot of time. So
She pulls up the little menu thing, and I'm there for 5 minutes. And I'm watching her. I can't hear everything that's being said, but there's obviously a lot of confusion between her and the person on the other end, okay?
McDonald's menu, famously not that hard to figure out.
It's all product.
And it's all product. And it's all got Mick in front of it, Just say Mick in a noun, and they probably have it.
I'm there 5 minutes, okay? She finally pulls forward. I go up, order my 2 cheeseburgers.
Yep.
So she pulls up to the front window. I'm coming behind her. And it's another 5 minutes of her passing back cash between her and the cash person. So it's like she's not giving the right amount or something, or not paying enough.
She's paying in Bolivian
and then finally a card is put in there, and then the card works. Okay, so another 5 minutes has passed. Okay, and then she just keeps on driving, and she just drives right past the second window, doesn't pick up anything, and then she goes out onto the main road. So it wasn't like going out into the waiting area. She left. She hightailed it out of there, okay? So I pull up to the second
10
window.
minutes plus of time of her life just gone.
So I pull up the second window. I waited. It's another 5 minutes. Mind you, this was supposed to be a smash and grab job, right?
The cops are on their way.
So finally, they opened the window. Did you order the 4 orders of pancakes?
What?
I went, no.
4 orders of pancakes?
Yeah. Actually, let me back up. I went up to the first window. They went, did you have 4 orders of pancakes? I went, for $30-some. No, 2 cheeseburgers. Oh, okay. So then I go up to the second window. Wait the 5 minutes. They opened the second window. I was like, did you order the 4 pancakes? I went, no, I told that to the person at the front window. I just had 2 cheeseburgers. And they're like, really? I went, yeah. Well, I'm sorry. We don't have them ready. So can you go pull up to one of the waiting spots? I'm like, okay. So I sit there. I wait for 5 minutes. So we're 20 minutes in now. Okay. And then some gal comes out with 2 big bags in either hand. I roll the window down. It goes, here's your 4 orders of pancakes. And I'm trying not to be a dick by this point, okay? I went, I did not order 4 orders of pancakes. I went, there was an elderly gal in front of me. I think she was having some cognitive problems. And she just went past your second window and didn't pick up what I'm assuming is her 4 orders of giant-ass orders of pancakes. And she looks at me and she goes, that makes sense. I'm going to go tell my manager. And so I'm like, this dingy old lady managed to throw off the world's most efficient food system. So she leaves, okay? It's another 5 minutes going by. I'm like, screw it. I'm out $3. Yeah. I'm leaving. And then finally, right as I'm getting ready to leave, I got my two cheeseburgers. And then I'm driving home and I realized I should have just took the 4 pancakes.
Exactly. You fool.
So there was my mini joyride.
You're the... I love how at fast food restaurants, like with limited exception, I guess I'll respond with this little thing. Have you seen the AI ordering bots that are at some fast food places?
I've seen videos.
I've seen videos of them. My favorite of those is when someone will pull up and it'll say, hi, welcome to blah, blah, blah. I'm, the assistant, AI assistant. I'm ready to take your order. And the person will then go, 55 billion waters. And then the AI will go, okay, and put it on the screen. And then immediately what will happen is you'll hear somebody righteously putting on a headset going, how can I help you?
This is going to... I don't want to be Lord Kelvin and be like, in the 1800s and said, well, everything that's been discovered and invented has already been discovered, Yeah. So I don't want to totally, negate AI. I just don't trust it very much at this point in time still.
It's so easy to trick, man. It's so easy to trick. And it will just lie to you for no reason. I was trying to use it the other day. I was doing some research, and I needed links to products. I was like, okay, I need these products, and I need the price compared. And I'm like, oh, generate me the links. It's like, okay, here are the links. I click on the link, doesn't go to anywhere. I'm like, okay. And I say to the AI, hello, those links don't work. Could you please? And I go, oh, I'm so sorry about that. You're an AI, first of all. You're not sorry by definition. Let me fix that. And then it generates the links. They're exactly the same. They still don't work. Like at this point, I just, I can't deal with this.
Yeah, well, everyone, there's your bonus pre-show to
Enjoy.
part 2 here. So anyway, yes, this is part 2, continuing on of the Canadian connection, Malcolm Bricklin and the Bricklin SV-1. Okay, so to kind of recap a little bit on that, so Malcolm is going to build his own car. He wants to mass produce them. So he's made a deal. He's trying to make a deal with the government of New Brunswick in order to manufacture them there.
Have we ever found Old Brunswick? Is that in the UK?
If you're from Old Brunswick or Brunswick,
hit my line. We got to find, Drop a comment if you're from Old Brunswick. They picked New Brunswick, and I don't even think Brunswick.
So, full of determination.
And amongst other things.
Bullshit.
Exactly.
Okay. Malcolm was granted an audience with Richard Hatfield, the premier of New Brunswick. They met at the Lord Beaverbrook Hotel, where the premier had been living since he won his first term in office.
He lived at a hotel?
Yeah, apparently he lived there.
Was this the sweet life of Zach and Cody?
It's the sweet life of the premier, yeah. This is a sitcom waiting to happen.
Yeah, seriously.
So, Malcolm liked Hatfield immediately and described him as, quote, charming, intelligent, and sophisticated.
A poor judge of character. He was.
By this point, Malcolm had formed General Vehicle Incorporated, which was the parent company of the Bricklin Corporation, which was in charge of marketing. Within all that was the new manufacturing branch of the entire operation, which was Bricklin Canada Limited. And this is specifically is what Malcolm brought to the negotiating table. Right? So he's got this Russian doll of shell companies.
Yes, exactly. It's a Matryoshka doll.
Uh-huh. So, the federal Canadian government insisted on a majority Canadian-owned operation, which Malcolm was willing to offer. Consequently, the Canadian premier and the American promoter struck a deal. They announced it at a press conference at the Admiral Beatty Hotel in St. John. I don't know if he lived at that one or not. He just walked out in his robe.
He lives at all the hotels.
Yeah. Hatfield, as usual, looked like the handsome politician of the Conservative Party, while Malcolm was wearing a partly undone button-up shirt and a pair of aviator sunglasses.
Hell yeah.
So the 70s called, and they want their clothes back.
And this was the 70s, though. They can't call. This was the 70s. They went promptly to a landline, and they called the year they were
Party line, yeah, yes. Of course. Yeah. It was going to be initially paid for with $4 million of loans backed by the province and another $3 million coming from the federal government of Canada. Okay. Premier Hatfield further proclaimed the firm would soon reach their goal of 12,000 cars within the first year of production, and they would soon achieve auto-packed status, essentially making the cars duty-free when exported to their primary market, the United States.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's not going to happen.
Oh, ye of little faith.
Yes, that's what they call me.
Earlier in 1973, Malcolm had a PR firm work on some print materials, this is the 70s, to send out to potential dealers. Malcolm went on a promotional tour de force. He did interviews and hung out with movie stars, including Paul Newman.
I thought you said movie stores at first.
He went to the Real Hollywood Video, owned by Martin Solano. Yeah. We were not paid to do that, so you're welcome, Martin.
I want in-store credit for that. Shout out. I'm going to go rent Reservoir Dogs with that.
In the summer of that same year, Malcolm threw a shindig in Las Vegas to display the prototype. He even hired armed guards brandishing shotguns to add to the impressiveness.
Vegas, no stranger to shindigs.
No.
So, okay, hang on. What exactly... the security have shotguns, and that makes everybody feel...
The plastic car is so valuable, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, no.
The Hot Wheels car.
Yeah, exactly.
The little Tykes car.
Yeah.
So, all in all, the event cost him around $10,000, so like $7 million. But he did manage to sign up about 300 new dealers.
Wow.
What they didn't know was the prototype was just a fiberglass shell with no interior parts or functioning windows.
So the dealers signed on without, seeing a car drive?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to say there are multiple bad people in this story. Some of these dealers are definitely not blameless in this. Right? I mean,
buyer beware. Is that
buyer be alive and able to think for yourself? I mean, how hard is it to? Yeah,
this is a Joyride app.
My faith in humanity is on a joyride right now.
Later, there'd be an even bigger premiere for the SV-1 in New York at the Four Seasons.
Oh.
Over 100 guests were invited and plenty of models to strut about the cars, or brand ambassadors, we'd say in today's terms, which I'm sure they were not appropriately dressed, being the time period.
And if they tried to lay across the hood, it would have collapsed in on itself as it was made of plastic.
The 5 bars on location also did good business.
Oh, yeah.
As glamorous as the party was, it almost didn't happen.
Okay.
The night before, there was a small problem. The plan was to bring in 3 cars, but they were 1 inch wider than the doorway they had to go through.
It's the old couch in the apartment issue.
Consequently, Malcolm gave the order to have the cars drained of their oil, tilted on their sides, and then brought in that way.
Okay.
While having to barely make it past an extraordinarily expensive Picasso.
Take the Picasso down, man.
Even though it was a bit touch and go at times, they made it happen. Although a bit more sophisticated than the Las Vegas car, the cars at this event were also hand-built prototypes, and one of them even had a hidden generator in order to make sure the gullwing doors opened.
Oh.
Because they're electrically activated.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Despite these problems, Malcolm and Hatfield had to rush back to New Brunswick for the opening ceremony of the factory.
Right after they got those cars back out of the doorway.
After a few remarks from Malcolm, Hatfield came to the podium and said, quote, "Success will be our success," end quote, to the assembled crowd. He's gonna maybe eat those words here. I don't know. Even though the factory was open, there was a bigger task of properly operating it.
Yeah, that tends to be, kind of important.
Malcolm did not have much intention of running everything himself, and at one point had even considered hiring a GM executive and engineer named John Zachary DeLorean in 1973. Malcolm offered him a ridiculous salary of $1.6 million.
About 50,000 billion trillion dollars, and that gag is going to keep going on forever.
But when it came to the question of whose name would be on the back of the car, Bricklin said it would be his. With this bit of news, DeLorean made his way to the door. Just a handful of years later, in the late 1970s, DeLorean would start his own car company. It, interestingly enough, built a sexy sports car with safety in mind called the DMC-12. Instead of being made with acrylic body panels that did not need to be painted, this car was built with stainless steel that also did not need to be painted.
And famously, it all worked out great.
It additionally featured a pair of prominent gullwing doors. The similarities did not end there, since John DeLorean was able to make a deal with a foreign government as well, which was not in Canada but in Northern Ireland. Some have even speculated that John DeLorean took significant inspiration from his DMC-12 from the Bricklin SV-1. Again, it could be coincidence, but who knows? Yes, it is awfully similar.
Yeah.
So, unless you've been living under a rock, you are aware of this car, since the DeLorean is most famous for being the time machine prominently featured in the Back to the Future trilogy. With DeLorean the man out of the picture, and I'd like to point out when I first wrote this, I wrote the man DeLorean out of the picture. Then I stopped and went, Disney's going to sue me.
Hey, they're releasing a movie.
So
it's promo.
With DeLorean, the man, out of the picture.
Parentheses.
Malcolm did hire some other people with Detroit experience. One person was Terry, who was poached from Ford to be the production engineer at the factory. Terry.
Just Terry.
It's just Terry, yeah. It's like McLovin.
I'm just Terry.
At the factory in New Brunswick. When Terry saw the factory for the first time, he was shocked by how primitive it was.
Oh, that's, yeah. Not the way that I'd like my project described as primitive.
He was even surprised by the fact that important machinery had been placed in areas of the factory where they should have not been placed.
It seems like a pretty elementary issue.
He concluded the people who were running the company did not know anything about manufacturing an automobile.
Well, Terry, I think you may be the smartest person in this story. You don't even have his last name. You're brilliant, Terry.
It could be. I think it's Tanner. he was, he was not widely off since Malcolm filled some key administrative positions, mostly with his own family.
Yeah, okay, that tracks.
Malcolm's father was an executive. His mother, the head of complaints. I mean, that one, that was probably one of the more wiser decisions he made. You put your mother on on that.
Ma, I got the great plan for you. We're recording this right before Mother's Day, so there you
go. His sister was the company lawyer. I'm hoping she was licensed. He also hired his brother-in-law, uncle, and girlfriend, and all with hefty salaries. Another interesting personality in the Bricklin saga was none other than the Premier of New Brunswick, Richard Hatfield. Richard was born on April 9th, 1931, in the small town of Hartland, an English-speaking and heavily religious area of New Brunswick. Hatfield was someone who had a natural swag to him. It was even described as incredibly charming and amazingly handsome. With these traits at his disposal, he thrived in the world of politics. He became a member of the Canadian Conservative Party and over time was elected by the people of the province to be their leader for what would become a total of 5 terms.
5 4-year terms?
If you're Canadian, please drop in the comments how
4-year terms. They're so old, Brunswick, so we'll have to...
how terms work in Canada. Even though he was popular in his province, he didn't spend much time in it. He would fly around the world in a government aircraft to destination cities and enjoyed the nightlife wherever he went.
Yeah. Okay.
Throughout his years, he was known to have visited the notorious Studio 54 in New York City, along with a divorced Margaret Trudeau, the former wife of Prime Minister of Canada Pierre Trudeau, and the mother of future Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who is now is in a relationship with Katy Perry, which no one saw coming.
And she's been to space, so that's their joyride. There you go.
Okay, there's another one.
Can we do an episode on Katy Perry going to space? That'll be a joyride.
Studio 54 was infamous for its drug use and public displays of homosexual encounters. Aside from Hatfield, other men who frequented Studio the nightclub were fashion designer Halston, artist Andy Warhol, and in this mix was a brash young real estate developer named Donald J. Trump. This earned Hatfield the nickname Disco Dick. What's so funny about that? It's a total normal name.
Is it that it is disco? Like, does it have its own ball, or are they both? So I gotta know some things. You can't just drop this on me without telling me more. No.
If you are aware of what a disco dick is, don't send a picture. Just describe it in the comments.
Disco dick.
All right.
That honestly, yeah. Yeah, use that one on a dating app. Hey, girl, you want to see my...
Another unusual thing about Hatfield...
Other than him being... Sorry.
Especially for a politician of this era, and a conservative one to boot, was that he was not married.
Okay. Well, he had other uses for his disco dick. We're fully off the rails here. Okay.
When his party boy reputation was combined with his good looks, the public pretty much assumed he was just a bit of a wolf on the prowl, and that was about it. Okay.
Okay.
The truth of the matter, and all the female listeners of this show have already figured this out.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter was that Richard Hatfield was an unapologetically flamboyant gay man behind closed doors.
Yeah, not a lot of straight guys with the nickname Disco Dick.
Yes.
In fact, I'm going to venture to say none.
Now, this is the 70s. Unfortunately for people like him, he can't come out at this time.
No.
And also he's a member of the Canadian Conservative Party, which makes it even more kind of a sticky situation.
Is it? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on with this guy.
So there's a little bit about Richard, okay? So To confirm this, when Malcolm and Richard were hanging out together, Malcolm curiously asked Richard why he did not spend much time with women. Richard calmly answered his question by stating he was gay. So I don't know if he was just really comfortable with Malcolm, or if he's a legend, or he maybe even liked Malcolm. I don't know.
I mean, he's letting him, run a whole fraud train on his whole province, so it seems likely there might be something going on there, but who am I to say?
Yeah. Malcolm himself was also living the high life on his own terms at this point, with plenty of Canadian government money rolling into the Bricklin menagerie of corporate operations. And like Hatfield, our hero spent little time in New Brunswick. Instead, he made a move to Arizona so he could live his lifelong dream, which was to become a cowboy.
What?
I'm not making this up. This is the best part about Joyrides. This sounds like somebody made all these up, but these are real stories.
It's going in a completely different direction. We've just slammed on the brakes and we've just turned left.
The boy from Pittsburgh did not waste time, and soon he started dressing like an unintentional caricature of Peter Sellers combined with the Marlboro Man.
What?
I've seen the pictures.
Yeah,
just go. I mean, if you're not driving, or you got time, just go to Google, look up Malcolm Bricklin, and just look at all this stuff. Okay. So, to keep his image of a startup auto mogul, Malcolm had selected an office that was at the top of the tallest building in Phoenix, and to keep up with his cowboy persona, he would sit in a saddle instead of a standard office chair.
Audience, you can't see the look of disapproval in my face, but just trust that it's there. I hope you can hear it.
He also hired a bodyguard to drive his Rolls Royce.
What is this guy in Rolls Royce? They would have never let this guy within 100 miles of a Rolls Royce plant. And here he is driving him around.
Even though Malcolm was experiencing his idea of the good life, his company back in Canada was not. Problems persisted.
Yeah, I imagine so.
One major issue was the manufacturing of the fiberglass body panels at a different facility that was nearby.
Oh, you mean like the whole building of the car, that part was not going well?
That whole part was not going well.
Yeah, that seems to be the whole part.
So the fiberglass body panels, they had a tendency of cracking, which is obviously not good.
Wow. Audience, I think you and I can both be shared in the experience of thinking, wow, I'm not surprised by that at all.
Another problem was when the workers glued a part to the panels, the parts tended to fall off.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I usually want parts to stay on, fall off.
Yeah. I can't say I'm an automotive engineer, but the parts staying in place seems to go pretty well for most people.
I think you might be better qualified than some people in this.
That's my new car manufacturing business. We have Mobetta.
Mobetta.
We put the pots on and they stay on. I mean, honestly, the bar is so low right now.
So, consequently, a plastics expert was brought in. When he asked Malcolm's father, Albert, what they did for quality control inspections, Albert said they would hit the car with a huge sledgehammer. If nothing fell off, then the car was good to go.
It can't be real. It can't be real. No. I like the idea that there's a guy at the end of the assembly line, Sledgehammer Steve, who just stands there all day.
Good.
Bum, bum, bum.
One of us is like the Bluesmobile at the end. It's just
This one ain't gonna work.
Part supply was another problem. The earliest cars featured engines built by AMC, but they quickly pulled the plug. Malcolm, in a desperate rush, was able to convince Ford to be their engine supplier, which in the long run was a better deal since the Ford engines were much more powerful V8s. So something went right. The woes did not end there, however. The doors, which were the flashiest part of the car, were also incredibly difficult to manufacture. It also did not help that, according to Malcolm, the Detroit management did not want to live in New Brunswick.
Yeah. I mean,
now they probably would, but back then, no.
That's fair. That's fair. That is true. Also, there's just, as we talked about in the previous episode, ain't nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the biggest city was 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't a lot going on. I mean, this story has been like, come build it in New Brunswick. We're going to get the people of New Brunswick to pay for it. And then we're all going to leave every 5 minutes after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what's happening.
Yeah.
So, Malcolm was also not at the factory since he was in Arizona handling things on the sales side. Despite all these issues, the first car rolled off the assembly line in September of 1974.
Freshly hit with a sledgehammer.
More cars followed after it, but due to the production problems, the cars that had been built were being sold for $5,000, even though it was costing the company $16,000 a piece to build them.
Oh my God. Okay, can you please inflation adjust? I'm going to look that up.
You can look it up right now.
Know how much, you said 74?
74. Yeah.
74. Okay. I need to know this. Inflation calculator. usinflationcalculator.com. Okay, if in 1974 I purchased an item for 16,000. Okay. Oh, that's just a cool $107,168.
$107,000. It's $107,000 to build one car, and they're selling for $5,000 to do that.
They're selling them for $5,000, which is. Oh, I put in $5.
Well, at this point, I'm not surprised someone probably would have made that mistake too.
33,000.
Oh my! So
33.
this is it's like a $70,000+ loss.
It's like a $70,000 loss on every car.
Wow.
My God, my God. Business.
The numbers certainly were not looking good, and by the fall of 1974, $15.4 million had been spent, and only 100 cars had been built.
And you know this calculator's coming back out. Yes. 15.4 million. What? This is a lot of zeros. 15,4,0,0,0. Well, we got to add another zero. Uh-oh, this is not looking good, friend. No, we put those zero in the wrong place. This is compelling radio.
Are you a Bricklin accountant?
Okay. You tell me what you think it is.
It's $150 million.
It's $103 million.
Okay. So,
for how many cars?
100 cars. In today's money.
103 million. Okay, let's just do some math here, folks. $103 million. And you just, okay, that's a lot of zeros. And you divide that by 100. Oh, that's just, $1 million a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Even though the storm was getting worse, Malcolm saw an opportunity.
When does he not see an opportunity? I'd like to know that.
Hatfield was running for re-election.
Okay.
And Hatfield tied the success of the car as a major component of his campaign.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say
so he's got him by the disco dick.
Yeah. You son of a bitch. I was angling for that. And snake me out of it. God damn it. There's a guy on a street corner. Hey, vote for Disco Dick.
God.
Jesus.
So
I'm Disco Dick, and I'm running to be your president.
I endorse it. I approve this message. Malcolm was aware of this and rather ruthlessly took advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
Hatfield was aware of his vulnerability as well, so he agreed to grant Malcolm and his company more money.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Malcolm received $1.5 million and another $1 million later, and to top it off...
like almost enough to build one car.
Yeah. And to top it off, this was all done in secret, which ultimately proved to be a mistake. When the deal was made public, the people of New Brunswick, for the first time, had become critical of the project.
Yeah, I'm thinking that would be a correct response.
So, out of a desperate move to keep the car alive, New Brunswick gave Bricklin Canada another $8.5 million at the beginning of 1975.
Enough to build another 8 cars.
But as much money that came in, it also seemed to disappear just as fast.
Yeah.
Hatfield's opposition, the Liberal Party, were never big supporters of the project. In the first place, began to become even more aggressive and critical about it.
Yeah, I mean, you do not have to be a mathematician to figure this out.
Hatfield himself and Malcolm also begin not to see eye to eye anymore. When Malcolm asked for another $10 million, for the first time, Hatfield said no.
I mean, they had to be running out of money at a certain point. This is a ton of money.
Malcolm blamed the province's generous unemployment system, which was if you worked so many hours, then you could stop working and collect unemployment, and many Bricklin workers did just that.
Yeah, well, because they realized, oh, I'm working at the fraud factory. I'd maybe not like to work at the fraud factory.
Terry Tanner, so Terry did it.
Terry, we love Terry.
The factory's godfather described this situation perfectly. Quote, "Now, if you have a work ethic, which is hunting moose, shooting salmon,
what?
yeah, etc.
Terry.
Digging coal, cutting down trees. It's not a bad work ethic, but it is distinctly different. Americans go to the doctor when they can't go to work. They work until they drop. They don't have a lick of sense. Europeans and Canadians, especially New Brunswickers, go to work when they have to, and they don't go because they want to."
Terry, you're a beautiful man. You summed it up perfectly, Terry.
Everyone in New Brunswick just lifted their moles.
Yeah.
Right.
Why are you shooting the salmon? Just catch them, you crazy bastards. Shooting fish in the river. God, just catch
I don't know
them.
if that's a typo or I'll have to look. If it's not, I'll mention it in another episode.
I kind of just like that they're shooting at the salmon. Salmon are like, oh my God.
With the production issues, the labor issues, and the financial issues in mind.
Kind of all the main
Kind of everything.
There really wasn't anything that wasn't an issue when you think about it.
During the summer of 1975, Hatfield ordered an audit regarding the long-term financial performance of the Bricklin operation.
Yeah, and it just came back with a big old nope.
A report from Clarkson Gordon was reviewed when Hatfield's cabinet met. Essentially, it stated there was little hope for the Bricklin project.
Wow, color me surprised.
Around the same time, Malcolm was meeting with his board of directors, and the directors themselves had largely came to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
Consequently, the dream of the Bricklin was over. Malcolm made one last comment to a member of the news media as he was heading toward his car after the meeting. Quote, "That's too bad about New Brunswick, so I guess I'll go to Ottawa and make Trudeau look good." He then opened his door, which awkwardly took 8 seconds to open. Because it did work very well.
Yeah, because it was shit. Yeah. Believe it or not.
So, why did the Bricklin venture ultimately fail?
I'm going to stroke my beard hair here.
Dmitry Anastakis, I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that correctly.
We're doing our best.
A Canadian academic who wrote the book Dream Car, Malcolm Bricklin's Fantastic SV-1, and the End of Industrial Modernity, where a considerable amount of information for this story comes from, summarized the problem rather well in his book. Quote, "Bricklin could make cars, but he could not make enough of them either well enough or fast enough to make enough money to keep production going."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's the classic case of putting the cart before the horse. Mm-hmm. And in this case, this guy really would rather be on a horse somewhere as he wanted to be a cowboy, weirdly enough.
Nice touch.
Weirdly enough. But, they're trying to have their cake before they make the oven. You know what I mean? They're trying to build the crazy sports car before they have anything to sell. Mm-hmm. Sort of as we talked earlier at length about how a lot of these vanity sports cars were really just window dressing for the actual business. They weren't really ever that profitable.
Mm-hmm. That still is really the case today. I mean, Toyota only sells so many little coupes, but they make them because it's kind of the glamour product,
Yeah, it's something to aspire to.
Yeah, and everything I've read is like, if you want to have those boutique manufacturers, high-end boutique manufacturers, car manufacturers, it's amazing that they stay in business. The people running them know what they're doing because those companies, they're just money pits. Yeah. Because it's such a niche market. It really is you have to be very passionate about to keep it going.
You are building products that are money pits, so you yourself are also a money pit. Yeah, it's money pits all the way down.
So, It was a rather disappointing realization, not just for Malcolm and Hatfield, but for the people of New Brunswick. Despite the Bricklin fallout, Hatfield would be elected for 2 more terms as time went on.
People in New Brunswick, get your shit together, man. What are we doing?
His tenure would eventually come to an end when he was arrested for possession of marijuana at an airport, which he denied was his. His bachelorhood was also called into question when it's noticed he seemed to surround himself with so many good-looking young men.
Okay. Yeah.
He would eventually come to pass due to a heart attack in the early 1990s. Mm-hmm. So Malcolm, on the other hand, continued on with his mission to become a major figure in the automotive industry. You thought we were done, weren't you?
Oh, I thought we were.
No.
And then he started a company called Tesla. I'm kidding.
You're not wildly off. In the mid-1980s, while in London, he became aware of a little car built by a Yugoslavian company called Zatava. It was basically a licensed copycat of a Fiat 128. It was simple, but most importantly, it was cheap. Malcolm further discovered a man in California was already working on an import deal, so Malcolm bought him out and marketed and sold the car as the Yugo.
Oh, my God.
You weren't expecting that he was behind this, too. It had a list price of only $3,995.
Oh, my gosh.
Pretty soon, Yugomania was born. Sales surpassed 150,000 cars, and the future looked bright. Until everyone figured out the Yugo was an absolute piece of shit.
Yeah. That's the thing about all these cheap cars is that, like, yeah, you just convince everybody that this one's not awful. And then they buy it and they go, wait a minute. It is also awful.
The host of the radio program Car Talk declared it the worst car of the millennium. According to Malcolm himself, things got worse when he had a rather intense and chilling meeting with Serbian nationalist Slobodan Milosevic.
Okay. He sounds lovely.
Right before the Balkan War had started, Milosevic had been considered a war criminal, and his name still strikes fear into the hearts of the neighboring Croatians.
Oh, the average person that is a, side character in a Joyride episode.
Yes. Malcolm decided to bail, but he did walk away with at least $7 million for his troubles.
Oh, my gosh.
He just keeps coming back.
Ass backwards to success.
Old Malcolm would try his hand at this and that after the Yugo, but by the mid-1990s, he thought he'd try something really new. Electric cars.
You and I both knew this was coming, audience. So strap in.
So he formed a partnership with Dr. Malcolm Curry, who was the former...
Wait, they were both Malcolm?
They're both the two Malcolms.
We need to get a third one, so one of them can be in the middle.
Oh, my God. Oh. And they brought that back.
They did for like 4 episodes. Why?
I never have seen a single episode of that show.
Bryan Cranston's great. What else were we doing there? Yeah.
I'm not. So I can't say that it's bad. I've never seen a single episode of The Sopranos either.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, it's fine. It's good.
It's all right. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's like a ham sandwich.
Yeah. It's a really weird ending.
He formed a partnership with Dr. Malcolm Curry, who was the former CEO of Hughes Aircraft, the constructor of one of the largest airplanes ever built, or as you like to call it, the
stupid plane.
The stupid plane.
Also known as the Spruce Goose.
You do realize that this ever does become a TV show.
And we have to go to the stupid plane.
Because it's literally the stupid plane is 5 minutes from where we're sitting. We don't have an excuse.
No.
So,
are they going to let me in?
I don't know at this point.
They're going to be like, you're the guy who calls it the stupid plane. But like, objectively, it is. Like, I'm tired of pretending that it's not. I don't know. I feel like a collective psychosis has come over people that it's not a stupid plane. It is a stupid plane.
We're talking about the Spruce Goose, if anyone's kind of confused right now.
I imagine you're extremely confused.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, they had both come to the... he was also... Mind you, Curry had also been U.S. Defense Department Undersecretary.
Oh, that's a So somebody who kind of maybe knows what's going on?
Maybe. They both come to the conclusion an electric bicycle would be a good stepping stone before they started constructing electric cars.
2 wheels, not 4.
So he's not putting the cart before the horse for once.
Wow. It's incredible. He's going back to his scooter roots.
Malcolm, as usual, was able to bring in investors and dealers.
I imagine so, because they, never learn.
Yeah. The business that was formed was aptly named the Electric Bicycle Company.
Wow.
Which was based in Burbank.
Yeah.
All right.
Famously cheap and easy to do business in.
The bikes would be called EV Warriors.
Oh, wow. Okay, we could tone down the marketing a bit.
This is the most... I just smell the 90s coming out. This idea. You weren't even born yet. Nope. Mind you, I was like 5 or 6 when this was happening. So they came in 7 different colors and had a suggested retail price of $1,400 or $1,900. So not $10 billion, but they were not cheap.
Still, yeah.
In typical Malcolm Bricklin style, he organized a champagne-fueled launch event in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Makes a ton of sense.
Do you go back and listen to these? For whatever reason, Portland comes into these. It just kind of pops into these stories quite a bit, which is appropriate. If you,
it makes a lot of sense for the bike thing because a bike culture. I get it. I get what they were going for.
Yeah. As far ahead as his idea of an electric future was, the consumer was not nearly as interested as hoped.
And they were just, I imagine, based on the technology available, they probably just weren't that impressive.
They probably didn't go very far, for the time, yeah. As a result, the venture failed, costing investors millions. Lee Iacocca, the brainchild of the Ford versus Ferrari endeavor, and savior of Chrysler, ended up buying the company, but it's no longer in existence.
Yeah.
Even though this was another failed Bricklin enterprise, it did lead the way for what is now the thriving electric bike market.
It is. Well, as things get, that's the funny thing about it is that when you think about, there are a lot of e-bikes available now that are available for $2,000 or less in today's dollars. Think about $1,400 back then. I mean, that's
$5,000.
Yeah, and I imagine that it was not a very. I mean, nowadays they have they can basically propel themselves with battery for 30 miles, and you don't have to pedal a bit.
Well, it's like when they made when the Segway came out, and maybe that could be a future episode there.
Oh my goodness!
I remember seeing that and kind of going, "Yeah, it's kind of neat, interesting. Maybe not neat, interesting." And I looked how much they cost when it's not that interesting.
Yeah, they cost so much. And you also think about it just logically. Your head is so high up off the ground, and then you have no way to fall in a way that doesn't,
My Lamborghinis are a lot cheaper. That's in retaliation to your Malcolm in the Middle pun.
Fine. I'll allow it.
So, his next venture would also prove to be a rather interesting pursuit. Knowing that he might be better suited to importing cars than building them.
Wow, what gave you that impression?
I don't know
Malcolm?
how he came up with that. Yeah.
Maybe your entire life?
He went on a joyride around the world to find a new partner. In the early 2000s, so you're alive now, right?
Hey, let's go.
He initially considered partnering with Rover MG in the UK, but when he discovered the high wages British auto workers received, he decided to look elsewhere.
But, okay. Who looks at British wages and thinks, wow, those are really high?
I guess they were. But this is Malcolm Bricklin, so who does? Yeah. That's when Malcolm stumbled upon another fledgling car company in China named Chery.
Oh.
Now, I remember this, all right?
Okay.
Even though China is a one-party state, it largely has a functioning capitalist economy, even though it's still a communist country on the books. Malcolm, as usual, heard opportunity knocking. His new plan is he would be the first person to import Chinese-made cars to North America.
Yeah.
Soon, Malcolm started negotiations. At one meeting with Cherry's representatives, in order to break the ice, or maybe just to be Malcolm, he loosened his red tie and started unbuttoning his shirt.
What the hell? What? Malcolm, no.
While doing so, he said, quote, "The way I see it, we have two choices. We can either take our time and get to know each other, or we can get naked."
What, was Disco Dick hiding in a corner? The
hell? As a side note, this was featured in a 2007 documentary film that was directed by Malcolm's son, Jonathan, which is entitled The Entrepreneur. I watched it. It received positive reviews. It did well on the film festival circuit. In my professional opinion, it is a rather well-crafted cinema verite work of film.
It's for all those disco dickheads out there.
Yeah, so, even though Malcolm was willing to bear it all, both figuratively and literally,
yep,
the Cherry venture ended up in rocky waters.
Yeah.
The cause can be attributed to a number of different things. The judgmental American consumer being wary of Chinese-made cars, even though everything they own is largely Chinese, could have been one issue. But another problem was the skeptical attitude of other businessmen, such as Ron Tonkin, the noted Oregonian dealership tycoon who had dealt with Malcolm in the past.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Consequently, Tonkin felt Malcolm may have been better suited as a carnival promoter than an automotive entrepreneur.
Wow, spot on. Struck right at the core of this story right there.
If you grew up in Oregon, you know who Ron Tonkin is. It's up there with the Shane Company.
Yes, it's an absurdly cartoonish name as well.
Yes. Combine all these things together, and you guessed it, the Cherry idea ended up being a failure. So, now, dear Joyriders, since we are nearing the end of this story, you thought I was going to keep going, didn't you?
I mean, based on what? Based on all of the evidence so far? Yeah, I would think that.
How does one sum up the complicated legacy of the Bricklin SV-1 and its creator? I think it would be safe to say he is an ideas man. This is his strength and superpower in life. Despite this, he seems to love business, but perhaps he's not in love with some of the more finer aspects of business execution.
Sort of like all the parts, but...
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I try to be nice when I can. Even though many of the endeavors failed, he's not alone. Preston Tucker and his torpedo failed. John DeLorean, remember him? After a desperate cocaine deal was busted, his company ultimately failed. The only North American car companies to successfully grow to a large scale as of the 21st century, new North American car company, is Tesla, which is founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. It was later taken over by Elon Musk. Tesla initially achieved great success, but due to Musk's open support of neo-fascist political causes and far-right administrations, Tesla's sales have decreased by 80% as of 2025. Apparently not going woke will also make you go broke. So, only time will tell what will be the fate of the car company he took over. As for Malcolm, even though his career could be described as uneven at best, he has nonetheless joined the automotive pantheon. Despite his failures and having just as many faults as his cars, it would appear. Thank you.
He takes 8 seconds to get out of bed in the morning.
He nonetheless has had some successes. If you're from the United States and currently drive a Subaru, then you have Bricklin to thank. But aside from Subaru, I think his greatest legacy is the SV-1. It was even featured in the 1982 film The Junkman, directed by H.B. Halke, the man behind the original Gone in 60 Seconds. Now, I can't imagine that they had to stage a lot because it took 8 seconds to get in and out of it. A song that humorously tells the tale by Canadian singer-songwriter Charlie Russell became a surprise hit when it reached number 17 in the Canadian charts during the 1970s. So it's kind of like he's kind of like an Arlo Guthrie of Canada.
Hey, that's interesting.
A satirical comedy song about this, okay?
It's all that you really can do is laugh.
Yeah. Although the Bricklin is a cautionary tale, it has also proved that more things are possible than you might have expected. It's estimated about 1,600 Bricklin SV-1s are still in existence, which of course have a devoted and exclusive club of owners who look forward to joyriding with their fellow Bricklin comrades. I believe Jeff Dunham, the puppet guy, has one. That's his name, right? Jeff Dunham?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry Tanner. Remember old Terry?
Terry, we love Terry.
Spent years improving the Bricklin he owned. Among other problems, the springs for the suspension were too low, the back windows were known to fall in, and there was no spare since the design did not feature one.
Oh, well, I like the idea that they built the vehicle from the ground up for safety, and then
no spare.
Yeah, no spare. No.
Terry, through his tinkering, had made a reliable car, and he thinks the production version would have been so if it had not been so rushed.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They were spending $1 million a car to do nothing. I mean, they spent $100 million inflation adjusted to make 10 cars.
So,
not good.
Fast forward to 2026.
Fast
Malcolm
forward.
is now 87 years old.
He's still alive?
He's still alive, and he's still not retired.
And he's still... I thought you were going to say, and he's coming through the door right now.
That would be awesome, but unfortunately not.
That's crazy.
Currently, through his company, Visionary Vehicles, he is working on a brand new car built up from the ground up called the 3EV. It's an electrified sports car that features not 4 wheels, but 3, 2 in the front and 1 in the back. It's slated to cost $39,980 and has a range of 275 miles. This time, it does not feature gullwing doors, but scissor doors instead.
Okay, of course.
In other words, even though this may be his last project, his story may not end here, and we may yet get another joyride with Mr. Bricklin. And for the time being, that is the end of our story.
Hey, folks, this is going to be a PSA from me to you. Don't buy EVs with 3 wheels. That's just. Yeah, I'm just going to throw that out there. That's it.
We need to test it, and then we'll give our honest opinion. How's that sound? Or are you that skeptical? Oh, I don't know why you would be. But
I'm sort of skeptical based on the track record of the last, I don't know, all of what you just said. No, it would be cool. It'd be cool to see. But the fact is, the EV market now is so saturated.
Yeah,
it's already sort of the trend is already sort of past. What's the next thing?
And we'll see where it goes. I'm kind of really interested in the direction we could do with hydrogen too.
Yeah, there's some interesting things there. It's just people like to politicize it, but it's just energy.
Yeah,
it's just energy one way or another. It's all so.
Well, I remember I came to you with this one, and I kind of just went into the basics of it. Were you expecting it to go in all those directions?
Disco Dick is one of my favorite characters
Disco Dick.
that we've had on this podcast, because I love how they elected him 2 more times.
That's what I thought was wild.
He never is there. He wastes all their money. He's just like, he's gone all the time. And they're like, we love you. God, I think I came out of this wanting to be like the straight version of Disco Dick. I'm serious.
That's gonna be your new gaming handle.
Yeah, it's true. I came out of this thinking, man, what kind of legendary cachet?
If you send us fan mail in the future, listeners,
address it.
Okay, write my name, Jared Brandon Planty, but then write Kyle's Kyle quotations Disco Dick Dotterman. We're gonna make this official now. Okay.
Disco Dick.
All right.
All
Well, with that one, I think we're going to wrap things up. We have more coming here in season 10, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you are.
I am excited.
I'm sure the listeners are as well. And just as a reminder, we have all those new content on the socials, and I always like to remind you, Patreon. Okay, it helps keep our show going. So if you like us, just if you can throw a couple bucks, that's great. We'd appreciate it.
What's the link?
It's in the description box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we can maybe even get Kyle a shirt that says I'm Disco Dick right on it. Yeah.
Disco Dick. All right.
All right. Okay.
On that spinning. You listeners, chime in the comments. Which part is the disco part? Is it the yeah?
Let's see. Okay.
Anyways.
All right. Signing out.
See ya.
Starstruck.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am sweating my tits off in here. I'm not too bad, actually. I'm doing okay.
I hope I recorded that.